So now the last step in learning to solve equations, and that is, what do you do if you have a variable on both sides? Well, the first step is to make sure all your variables are on the same side. So you're going to transpose, using the same rules we're already used to, we're going to transpose variables to the same side. Of the equal sign. So in this case, and if I were to draw a line again, I have a 5x on one side and a 2x on the other side. I can go either direction. I kind of like my variables on the left-hand side, so I'm going to transpose 2x to the left-hand side. So that means instead of a plus 2x on the right-hand side, I'm going to have a minus 2x on the left-hand side, and then I need a sign to divide these or separate these, and that would obviously be a plus because 13 had a plus in front of it. So now simplify. Negative 2x plus 5x equals 3x, and I have a 13 still on that side and a negative 8 left on this side. And now I'm right back where I started before. No big deal. I'm going to transpose negative 13 to the other side. 3x equals negative 21, and now I'm going to transpose 3, and so x equals negative 7. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'd be done, except I think that was way too fast. So let's do a couple more examples just to make sure that we're really positive about how to do this. I want to solve for x, so I'm going to solve 4x minus 5 equals 1/5 times 5x plus 20. Alright, so I have one of those special rules where I have a divide by 1/5, so I could multiply both sides by 5 over 1, multiply both sides by the reciprocal, but if I do that, I'm left just having to distribute the number 5 to both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute the 1/5 first before I move it. I have a choice. I could do it either way. I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way without the shortcut. So 1/5 times 5x equals 1x, because 5 times 1/5 times 5 equals 1, and x just equals x. And then 1/5 times 20, well, that's the same thing as, well, let's look at the signs first. Plus and a plus is a plus. And 1/5 times 20 is just the same thing as 20 divided by 5, but that equals 4. And then on the other side I have a 4x minus 5. Now I have a problem, looks exactly like my first example. I think I'm going to subtract x from both sides, so I'm going to do the same thing in this direction, minus x, and I have to remember to put a sign in front of my 4 now. And then I simplify both sides. 4x take away 1x equals 3x minus 5. Now I'm going to transpose my 5. So I have 3x equals 9, and then transpose 3, and I have x equals 3. So let's check that back into our original problem. It's always safe to check, at least mentally, if not by writing it down, but I'm going to go ahead and write it down. Minus 5 equals 1/5 times 5 times 3 plus 20. So that's 12 minus 5, and we don't know if this is equal yet. 1/5 times, well, 5 times 3 is 15, plus 20 is 35. 12 take away 5 is 7, and 35 divided by 5 is 7, so that is the correct answer. So now that we have all of the skills we need to solve equations, let's look at some special kinds of solutions. So special kinds of solutions. So notice in both of the examples and in the problems we've been doing, inequalities and equalities, we get one solution, or in the case of inequalities, we get one set of solutions. But there are some special things that can happen, and this would be a good time to talk about them. For example, Let's solve 5x minus 6 equals 5 times the quantity x minus 1. Okay, so first thing I want to do is simplify both sides. So I'm going to go, well, I could divide by 5, but I don't really want to divide by 5 because that, the special shortcut, it's only a shortcut if it actually makes your life shorter. So I'm not going, well, not your life shorter, but your work shorter. So I'm going to distribute my 5. I get 5x and then 5 minus 1. So 5 times x is 5x and 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. 5x minus 6, bring that down. I want to get my x's on the same side, so I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides, right? I'm going to transpose a 5x and then simplify. So on the right-hand side, I have a negative 5, and on the left-hand side, I have 5x minus 5x, well, I have negative 6 because 5x minus 5x equals 0. Now, is that a true statement? Does negative 6 equal negative 5? No, only in Crazy Town. So this is actually a case when you get a solution or when you get an answer like this, it means there are no solutions to this. And we write an S. Okay, no solutions. And that means there's no x that I can plug into this equation. There's no checking that I can do. There's no value anywhere on Earth or anywhere in the universe that will make that equation a true statement. So this means no solutions. When you get something that is untrue, Crazy Town, it means there are no solutions. So that can happen sometimes, and now you know how to find it. Let's look at another example. 4 times the quantity 3x plus 2 equals 2 times the quantity 6x plus 4. Okay, so let's solve this one. Again, I'm going to do my distribution. So 4 times 3x is 12x. 4 times a positive 2 is plus 8. And that equals 2 times 6x is 12x. And 2 times a positive 4 is plus 8. So now, if I transpose, I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. And I get 12x equals, well, oh, I'm not going to do that yet. Hang on, because we want to move our x's first. Mistake. I'm going to transpose 12x, so I have a minus 12x on this, on the others, on the right-hand side. And so that means I get 8 equals, well, 12x, take away 12x is 0, so 8 equals 8. So I got a funny answer again. It's not the same as this one because this one's untrue. This one is true. That means it's an identity. And we've seen that before, right? 8, the identity of 8 is exactly the same thing as the identity of 8. It's an identity. And when you get an identity as a solution, it means every x will solve this solution. Every x. This is an identity equation, which means that every x is a solution. Or we say infinite solutions, so infinite solutions. All right, or shorthand, we can say infinite S. So, two special cases. You're either going to get, for an equation like this, for equations like the ones we're working on, you're either going to get one answer that happens to be the correct answer, one solution, or you're going to get no solutions, nothing will make this a true statement, or you're going to get infinitely many solutions, or every x you choose would make this a true statement.